Hello everyone, I'm back for my fourth point of the day. So anyway, I'm going to talk about what happened during the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm going to focus on Sodom. But before we go into that event, let's go a little bit further back. This is when Abram was not Abraham yet, and he was separated from his nephew, Lot, the son of Nahor, and they had separated, parted ways, and his nephew went and lived in the Sodom area. Okay, and then after a while, some kings from where they had originally come from, up there near Euphrates and everything, up there where Nimrod used to live when he was alive. Or I guess he was alive during that time. Yeah. So anyway, kings from that area decided to come down and invade the southern area of Canaan. What happened was they demanded tribute for a while, and they got tribute for 12 years, but on the 13th year they rebelled. The number 13, like I have mentioned, it is associated with feminine nature, and even the name Mary can mean rebellion. So there's some hidden cyclical things going on there, okay? Anyway, so the kings came and they fought with the other kings down in southern Canaan, because these were really like chiefs. You know, they were like mayors. They weren't really kings of a huge kingdom. They were just like mayors of a town. Anyway, but they called them kings. So yes, they came down, they fought with them, and they captured a bunch of people as booty, okay? And one of those people was Abram's nephew, Lot. So Abram caught wind of it, and he decided to go and recapture his nephew. So he gathered a group of men, and they fought against them, and won them back. And the king of Sodom wanted to pay Abraham, you know, for his service. And he wasn't Abraham yet, but Abram. And he said, no, pay these guys that came and helped with me, but I don't want you claiming any credit for how God has risen me and caused me to be prosperous. Okay, so he refused any kind of payment. And then Melchizedek, he came and blessed Abram, and Abram gave him some tithes, because this was the religious figure of the area. All right, he was from what would be called Jerusalem in modern days. That was the area he was from. So, and Jerusalem means teachings of peace. So this was a man of God, and he was a peaceful man. Anyway, so the after this, so that's kind of the history of Sodom, okay, but it was not a very good territory, and it doesn't talk about this in the book of Genesis, but in Jashar it does. That king was not a very righteous man. So, and the whole area was known really as a bad place. So one day Abraham had sent his top servant to that area, and and someone came up and punched him for no reason and said, okay, you owe me $50 or something like that. You owe me some money. And he says, why do I owe you money? He says, because I just punched you, and in our town, when we punch someone, they owe us. And he says, I'm not going to pay you anything. So he took him to court. And the judge said, yep, in our town, if we punch you, then you have to pay us money. And so Eliezer, this servant of Abraham, punched the judge and said, okay, now you pay him what I owe him. So anyway, so it wasn't a very righteous place. And remember, this was early in human consciousness. That's what this time frame represents, okay? Where there wasn't law, there wasn't order. And this is why it's so important that the Most High came and gave direction and to the children of Israel in the book of Exodus, okay? But during this time, it was like the wild, wild west, okay? And that's not fun for good people. There's no protection for good people, okay? So law and order protects good people. The only people that benefit and flourish outside of law and order are evil people, all right? So anyway, that's just one of the stories, but there was all kinds of complaints going up to heaven about Sodom and that whole area. There is actually 5 cities that God destroyed, all right? He went to go destroy 5, but he saved the smallest one. That's how that went. So anyway, when the Most High, Yahweh, took a mortal form with 2 others, and he spoke with Abraham, and Sarah overheard it, and they had that whole Isaac conversation, and they laughed. After that conversation, the men left, the mortal men, Abraham, the vessel of Yahweh, and the 2 other gentlemen, and they left, and they had a serious discussion, and the Most High told him, hey, look, we're fixing to go punish this area. And Abraham knew that his nephew lived in that area. So he tried to plead with them. It says, if you can find 50 righteous, will you spare the area? And the Most High said, for 50, I would spare it. And then, anyway, and he just whittled it down. He whittled it down. And he says, if for 10, if you found 10, would you spare it? And so God said he would. He would. All right. If only there were 10. When the other men, they, as Yahweh, the vessel of Yahweh, stuck around and communed with Abram. Well, at this time, I guess it was Abraham at this time. Not during the wars involving Sodom, but not during the wars. But at this time, his name had been changed to Abraham. And so anyway, yeah, they sent the other guys ahead. He stayed back and had this conversation. Now, when those guys went ahead and went to Sodom, they were met. Lot met them, Luth, and they were welcomed into the house. Now they went down to bear witness and to just, have their eyes on the place, kind of look around, see what's going on. And then he goes and Lot says, oh, no, you got to come into my house. And he was going to keep them protected because he knew that there was a lot of evil in that town. Well, when you have the light of God in you, right? And you have purity and stuff. You are very attractive, and they drew a lot of attention, and so a lot of the people in town wanted to have access to those entities, to those who possessed the energy, pure energy. Okay, so they wanted to have access to them, and Lot said, "No, no, you can't here have my virgin daughters." But they didn't want the virgin daughters. They wanted these guys. All right, so these mortals, and they weren't even really identified as male or female. They were just mortals. So so what happened was the mortals insisted that Lot gather up all of his, well, not yet. They blinded the men out, the people outside, so they could not see, and that they can escape safely. All right, and then so this caused confusion, and God will oftentimes cause confusion and blind people when they are not, when they don't have good godly intentions in mind. He will blind them. It's a spiritual blindness, and they actually end up destroying themselves. Okay, there's truth to this. So anyway, in the story though, they blinded the angels, the mortals with angelic energies. Well, anyway, the pure people, they blinded them, and then was able to rescue Lot and his family. He told them, "Go get everyone, and we're going to get out of here." The nephews of, oh, excuse me, the son-in-laws of Lot would not go. Now, remember, he had virgin daughters, so this meant that he also had daughters that had been married, two men in the town. All right, so his son-in-laws refused to go, and they thought he was mocking them and making fun, that God was going to bring judgment, and but he wasn't making fun. After this, they all escaped, and they were told to leave and go to the mountains. And Lot begged and pleaded. He said, "I can't survive in the mountains. I can't do that. Here, let me go to this small town, one that was going to be destroyed, but it was very small, and let me go there, and that's and I will be safe there." And so they gave him permission to be there. And as they were traveling and the destruction was coming, his wife turned back, not because she missed the sin of that nature of that town. She wasn't longing for that. She had daughters that she was leaving behind, and she felt remorse towards them, and she suffered for that, because sometimes you do have to leave people behind when they're blind, for your own ascension. All right, you have to leave people behind for your own ascension. If they keep dragging you down into darkness, into blindness, then you have to leave them behind. All right. They can make you salty. Haha. But anyway, yeah. But seriously, they can make you salty. Okay, here you are. You're supposed to be ascending, and they are tainting you. So, then, so Lot was in this small town. They were given instructions, or they told him, "We will not attack Sodom and Gomorrah and those other towns until you get to this small town, and then we will destroy it." And he got there, and the destruction was so great that he decided, "Oh my goodness." And then plus he recognized that the people in that town, which had been pegged for destruction, they were just as evil as all the other ones, and he knew that he needed to get the heck out of there. So he went ahead and went to the mountains. All right. And while there, his virgin daughters, they thought it was the end of the world. So they seduced their father with wine and had children by him. All right, because they thought they were protecting the world. All right. Anyway, and their family line. Of course, their family line, their personal family line, was never going to be anything anyway, because he didn't have any sons. So it really was. They thought it was the end of the world, and they became, his children. So that area is known today as is known to have very salty water, and the area is just full of all kinds of salt and stuff. And it's speculated that possibly, yes, this could have happened, or maybe, the flood waters, when they came, it trapped the salt water there. That's a possibility. Or maybe an underground salt mine leached into a water source. There's all kinds of possibilities, but I like to go with the biblical one, because I think there's evidence. I think I saw evidence once upon a time in documentaries decades ago, where there was even evidence of nuclear radiation in that area. So, yeah, God didn't like that area, and he destroyed it big time. Yeah, so anyway, that's it for my fourth point of the day. My name is Wendy, and we're all living in the winds of change.